Okay, so let's take a look at the limiting reagents problem. This is where we're going to use the long dimension analysis one or the ICE method. So let's actually start talking about those now that you've gotten some practice with the stoichiometry. So number one of the limiting reagents problem said, let me actually read it to you. I don't have it printed out, but it says, what mass of silver chloride is made from the reaction of 4.22 grams of silver nitrate and 7.73 grams of aluminum chloride? So first of all, you need to identify your reactants and write it out just like this. And I know I'm going to have something of silver chloride, that's the one in question. But I also know I'm going to produce aluminum nitrate. And how did I know that? Well, this is double replacement, right? So I got two things, two ions replacing each other, swapping places. So make sure you identify those. All right, so I'm going to solve this problem first with the dimensional analysis problem. I already know this is going to be a limiting reagents problem. I will either have to use ICE or dimensional analysis because they gave me the mass of the two reactants and I want to know how much do I produce, okay? This is kind of like our sandwich and the ham problem. If I only have this much, how many sandwiches can I make? Okay, so balance your equation. Now, remember the dimensional analysis problem, the example I gave you in the beginning. You're going to set up each the reactants separately. And you're going to compare that to what you want to know. So this one with this one and this one with this one. Okay? I don't care about this one because it doesn't ask for it in the question. So this one, that one, this one. So first start with what you know. I know I have 4.22 grams of silver nitrate. Okay? I also know, looking at my periodic table, the molecular weight of silver nitrate is this. So I can go ahead and set it up. All right. In the dimensional analysis way, I am going to go ahead and cancel these two guys out. So I have 1 mole of this. So I know that mole of silver nitrate needs to go down here. Here's where my comparison comes into hand. I look at my reaction, I say, in this specific reaction, for every 3 moles of silver nitrate I also have 3 moles of silver chloride is given. Again, up to this point, it's just solving for the number of moles for silver nitrate. From here, I am comparing it to by mole ratio of the product in question, okay? And then I'm going to say mole and mole cancel. Then I continue on and I say, all right, I need to know grams. So I say for every 1 mole of silver chloride, and I found it before here, I have 143 grams of silver chloride looking at the periodic table. Then I can solve it out, okay? So the only thing I need to know is this. And actually 3 and 3 will cancel because 3 divided by 3 is just 1. So let's go ahead and solve for it. So I'm going to say 4.22 times by 143.32. So multiply straight across. Divide that by, I see that it's this times by 1 times by 1. So just divide it by that. So divide it by 169.87. Gives me 3.56 grams. Okay, grams of AgCl. I'm not done yet. I now have to do this the same way, but I'm going to compare it with the other reactant. So I set up reactant 2. Okay, in reactant 2, I have 7.73 grams of silver chloride. Okay, and then I say, all right, so if I have that, then I need grams of silver chloride here. This grams I get from the periodic table, which is right here. So 133.34. Then crisscross. Then I say that's 1 mole of AgCl3. Okay. Then I say, all right, so up to this point, I just found the number of moles for aluminum chloride. From here now, I need to compare my aluminum chloride in the question, okay, aluminum chloride in the question with the product in question. So I say, okay, in this specific equation, for every 1 1 mole of aluminum chloride I have. 1. I have 3 of those. 3 moles of silver chloride. Okay. Aluminum chloride cancel out. Then I say, for every 1 mole of silver chloride, its mass is 143. We did that before, so 32 grams of silver chloride. So the only thing that's left is grams of silver chloride. So let's calculate that out. So we're going to say 7.73 times by 3 times by 143.32 gives me that. I want to divide it by that, 133.34, and I get that, 24.93, but I can just leave it at that 3. That's 3 significant places. So which is less? Well, this is far less than that. So I know that this is my limiting reagent. I can only make 3.56 grams of silver chloride with this. On the next video, I'll show you how to do this one with using the ice method.